What's up, guys? So welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video, man, I'll be doing a commentary talking about, my first honest reactions to knifing in this game and my first opinions on knifing in this game in general. Because as you guys know, I got full out to E3 to get some early access gameplay of Black Ops 4, and unfortunately, I didn't get too much time to play the game. I only got, I believe, 2 or 3.5 gameplays. It wasn't much gameplay, man, and I didn't really get many games in, so I didn't really form an opinion on it. I was just indifferent about it. I was just like, I need more time to play this to actually have an opinion. Since the first weekend of the beta is actually over, I feel like I have a good outlook on how knifing is going to turn out in this game. But I believe the first thing I want to talk about is the bayonet and the tack knife. So in order to actually get the bayonet and the tack knife in this game, a lot of you guys already know because you've seen my videos, but if you don't know, you have to rank up the weapon to the max rank. So for the pistols, it's level 10, and for the assault rifles, it's level 13. And also, there's only one pistol and one assault rifle that you can get the bayonet or the tack knife on. The Vapor is the only one that you can get the bayonet for under the assault rifles, and for the pistols, it's the one that kind of like shoots like the MR6 is the one that you can get the tack knife for. Now, in order to actually put these on your class, you have to use an operator mod, which is another wild card. So on top of using the weapon, you have to use an operator mod, and then you have to put the attachment on. So that already uses up 3 of your slots in your pick 10 system. That really does suck, because in most Call of Duty games, you have a combat knife which uses 1 slot. And in this game, you have to use 3 slots. I know it's just the beta. I know they're probably going to add a combat knife. I know they're going to have, well, they should have melee weapons, because in Black Ops 3, they had like 21 melee weapons in that game. So I'm hoping that we have a good year for melee weapons. But as of right now, in the beta, you can only use the tack knife and the bayonet. And that really does suck because it takes up 3 of your slots. And since perks are so useful when you're going knife only and you're just knifing in general in Call of Duty, you could use those 2 other slots if you had a combat knife to use it for an extra perk with a perk greed. But anyways, hopefully we actually get a combat knife in the real game, because I don't want to have to use up 3 of my slots just to be able to knife in the game. That's just kind of annoying in my opinion. But anyways, I think I forgot to tell you guys what the background gameplay is. I believe the first gameplay is going to be on Seaside using the tack knife and tomahawks. I'm not entirely sure if I use kill streaks or not. If I did, then it doesn't really matter. It's the beta. The stats aren't going to carry over anyways. And also, if we have time for a second gameplay, the second gameplay will be probably a nice streak that I got with the bayonet, like a 15 streak or something like that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy those gameplays. So I feel like the next thing I want to talk about is the tactical knife. Now, with the tactical knife, the hit detection is so inconsistent, it's absolutely ridiculous. I've never experienced this with a Treyarch game. Usually, every single knife that they have in their game has really good hit detection besides the BO2 regular combat knife. Everything else in Treyarch games have been great for hit detection. Now, I know their weapons and their regular hit detection in the game is not the greatest, but for knifing wise, it's usually pretty good. But the tack knife in this game is downright dog shit. Like, that's the best term I could say for that. I feel like I should have got so many more kills, especially when I was out at E3 and while I was playing the beta this weekend. I could have got so many kills, but it just doesn't hit. It's like a little grace period between the time that you actually pull up the knife and then try to knife into somebody. It's like it's actually pulling it up to a certain area and then actually meleeing into somebody. I don't know. It's really weird. It's very irritating. Definitely not my favorite melee weapon in this beta. I'd have to say the bayonet is probably my favorite, and it's because the bayonet actually has great hit detection. It hits 90% of the time, and you can actually slide knife with that. The tack knife you cannot slide knife with at all, and it really sucks because in Black Ops 3, slide knifing was so dominant. Like, I could slide knife so easily in that game. That's why I love the Shadow Claw, because it had great lunge, and I could slide knife people from pretty far away. But in this game, slide knifing doesn't work at all. With the bayonet, it kind of works at times, but it's very glitchy, and you'll end up lunging somebody from like miles away. But in Black Ops 3, it actually locked onto the target, and you stabbed into them. In this game, it's just really weird and laggy. Alright guys, so let's talk about combat axes in Black Ops 4. I like calling them tomahawks, but I'm gonna call it combat axes because some of you guys get real technical with me. Like, oh, it's not called a tomahawk. Whatever, dude. It was called a tomahawk in BO1. That's how I remember it. But I'll say combat axes just for you guys. So anyways, in the game, the combat axes are very slow. They remind me of Black Ops 3. They're a little bit slower than Black Ops 3, and there's no perk in the game like fast hands. So we're not gonna be able to throw them faster like you were in BO2. I'm not sure if there's going to be one in the full game, but in the beta, there's not a fast hands perk. So that really does suck, because in World War II, I love throwing knives really, really fast. I love the ability to just throw them fast. And in this game, you're really sluggish and very slow when you throw them, and it really does suck. But I'm kind of accustomed to it with Black Ops 3. I didn't use them much in Black Ops 3. I think in total, out of the 60,000 kills I had on that game with knives, I had probably 5,000 with combat axes. Just because of the simple fact that I just did not like them in that game, and I don't feel like I'm going to like them in Black Ops 4 either. Now, there is an ability that you can use to recharge them faster, but you cannot respawn with them if they haven't charged already. For example, if you throw it out the map, you have to wait for that combat axe to recharge in order to get another one. You won't respawn with another combat axe. So I noticed this a lot in Search and Destroy because, you know, I would throw one at the beginning, I would have one remaining because I had two in my class. Now I would wait for that other one to recharge, but if you died in the middle of the round and you actually ended up using your other axe, you know, the next round you wouldn't have it if it didn't fully recharge. So if you use your equipment recharge, which is in the same section as like body armor and stim shot, it will recharge it faster, so you will end up getting one in the next round, but it takes quite a bit. So since we're done talking about everything knifing wise, let's talk about a few things I find concerning in this game overall. So there's something in the game called Fog of War. So if someone's in your bubble in the Fog of War, you'll be painted on the minimap. It'll be a fat red dot on the minimap, as you guys are seeing right now. It's a huge red dot, and there's no counter to this. There's absolutely no counter. You cannot stay off of this radar. So if there's an average, I'd say like average players look at their minimap pretty consistently, and really good players consistently look at their minimap. They're always looking at their minimap, because I know I'm always looking at mine. And if you're playing against average or good players in the game, you're not going to do well knifing. I mean, you can flank up behind somebody that's already in a gunfight and pick them off, or you catch somebody off by surprise. But overall, this perk really, really hurts us for knifing, because we're always on the minimap, and a really good player can just always turn on you, slide away, and just jump shot shoot you, and you have no chance of killing that person. And this is going to completely kill ninja defusing and just ninja stuff in general. I was talking to a Raceable Ninja on Twitter about it, and he was really concerned about it as well, because it's impossible for him to ninja defuse in this game, because you're a red dot on the minimap if somebody's close to you, and you have to sit kind of close to the bomb in order to ninja defuse, to know if they're there, to hear them and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty impossible for him to make content as well. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be impossible to knife in this game. It's just going to make it way more difficult than what it should be. Overall, I really hope they add a perk into this game, like Hardwired or something like that. If they don't add a perk like that that actually counters it, and like hides your name and stuff like that, knifing's gonna be really damn hard in this game, especially later on in the life cycle. You know, at the beginning I could kill noobs and stuff like that, but later on in the game, like when the blackout pass is like out and all the tryhards are in my lobbies, it's gonna be pretty damn hard to knife people, because they're all gonna be looking at their minimap. So that's probably my major concern. Another thing I really don't like is the Recon Specialist, and in Chaos TDM you can have two Recons on one team, and they could just put one on each side of the map if they know where to shoot it at, where the enemies can't see it. Pretty much hold down the map and know where people are flanking. And as you guys know, with knifing, you have to flank around the spawns. Flanking is the #1 key to doing good knifing. And if you can't flank and people always know that you're on the minimap and they know which way you're coming from, then what's the point of flanking in the first place? I might as well just run straight down the middle of the map and take my chances, you know? You know, me personally, I'm always flanking. I'm always taking that rush route to get behind the enemies and take them out like that and go for feeds and just overall just go on streaks. And that's just the best way to go on streaks. Knifing is flanking. And in this game, there's just really no element of surprise. They've literally took that out of the game. I think that's a huge reason why I didn't like Destiny multiplayer when I used to play that game, is because there was no element of surprise. You couldn't come up behind an enemy, mess around with them, troll them, or, you know, just overall be stealthy in the game. It just wasn't possible, just because of the simple fact that you were always painted on the minimap. And that is my biggest gripe. You know, I don't really necessarily care that the melee weapons are inconsistent. I can deal with that. I can get good games using the melee weapons. Hopefully this game doesn't go down the shitter, and hopefully they change the minimap. But as of right now, man, my honest opinion on the beta, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 in regards to knifing. Now, using guns and stuff, I probably give it a 7 out of 10, because I did use guns quite a bit, and I had a lot of fun using guns. It was a little bit more frustrating to use knives, but overall, it's a solid game. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I could definitely play it the full year if they do a few changes to the minimap and stuff like that. You know, if they change the minimap, they add a ballistic knife, they have a combat knife, and they put fast hands in the game to allow us to throw combat axes a little bit faster, I think this game has the potential to be a 10 out of 10 or like a 9.5 out of 10. But overall, I think this is going to be a great Call of Duty game. It's going to be really good. It's going to be fun to play. And overall, the maps look good. The only map I didn't like was Contraband. Even though it's very bright, I like the colors of it and stuff. I just didn't like it for knifing and just overall gameplay. It just didn't flow well to me. I think the reason why the game doesn't flow that great right now is because of all the bunny jumping and all the sliding and stuff like that. It's a little too much. They need to tone that down. And hopefully they do for the second weekend. I think they did say something about they were going to, you know, tone it down a little bit for the second weekend. So hopefully they do. But anyways, let me know down below what you guys think of the game. As of right now, like I said, man, probably a 6 out of 10. You guys can let me know what you guys would rate it down below. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
UAV available for tasking. Slapping the shit out of them. thugging by myself. But I ain't never asked nobody for help. But berry on my wrist and Burberry on my belt. I don't really smoke broccoli, it just helps. Everybody left me, now I'm thugging by myself.